the first basic question, data. What is data? Let me ask the first basic question, data. What is data? Collection of information. So, is data and information are the same? Is data and information are the same or different? Let me explain. Data is different and information is different. So, what is data and what is information? And let me take something like this. I'm having something like here 1 A W 9 2 B W 49 3 C W 49. I'm having something like this. I'm having something like this. Okay, 1A W 49, 2B W 49, 3C W 49. Here, what is 1, 2, 3, and here what is A, B, C, and what is W 49 here? Can anyone define? Can anyone define what exactly is 1, or what exactly A, or what exactly W 49? There is no proper definition for this. There is no proper definition for this. It is called as data. It is called as data. Okay, so the structured representation of events and objects is known as data. It is what? Right here. The structured representation of events and objects is known as the data. Here, one can be an event, A can be an object. There is no proper meaning here. So here we can't define what exactly is numbers, characters, and this number token. Right, or anything which is understandable by the system is known as data. System can able to understand data, but humans can't understand data. Right? Then what about information? Now to this data, if you add something like SID, SNAME, and batch number, right? And here the same information 1A W 49. 2B W 49. But take something like this. Okay, 3C W 49. But take something like this. It is called as information. Now we can tell exactly. Now we can tell exactly what is 1 or what is A or what is W 49. There is some definition for everything here. Now here what exactly 1, 2, 3 indicates? Student IDs. Here what exactly A, B, C indicates? Okay, student name. Then what the W 49 indicates? So here for every value you are seeing here, there is some definition at the top. Right? We could able to understand this. It is called as information. Meaningful data is known as information. What exactly the information means? Meaningful data is known as what? Information, or anything which is understandable by the humans is known as information. Humans can understand information. Okay, humans can't understand the data, right? So system can able to understand data. Here, have we got the meaning to this data? Here, have we got the meaning to this data? In the first line, we have some definitions. Help out with definitions. Here, SID, SNAME, and batch number. These three are known as metadata. It is known as metadata. With the help of the metadata, we got the meaning of this data. Right? The first one is called as metadata. First line is called as the metadata. and this below lines is known as data. So already you have taken the topic. Below line is known as the data. So metadata plus data is known as information. So the equation of the information is metadata plus data combinedly known as what? Combinedly known as the information. Right? So remember, data is different and information is different. So here we have got meaning to the data is help of the metadata or not? Then what is metadata? Then what is metadata? Here what the metadata is? What is metadata? Here what the metadata is doing? Here the metadata is describing our data. Here metadata is describing our data. Here this SID column indicates what the SID column indicates. This column contains all the student IDs. Whereas the SNAME column indicates this column contains all the student names. Batch number column indicates this column contains all the batch numbers. So what metadata will do is metadata it describes the content. This metadata it describes the content in the information system. So the descriptive information about the information system and its contents will be provided by the metadata, or in simple, it describes our data. Okay, the metadata it describes our data. So here, while we're discussing about this data, information, and the metadata, these are the important basics you people should know before working with any data tool. Tableau is one data tool. Tableau is one data visualization tool. So what Tableau can understand? Can Tableau understand the data or information or code? One important question. Can Tableau understand data or information or only data or only information or code? What is the answer? Tableau can understand both. Tableau can convert the data into visualizations, as well as Tableau can convert the information also into the visualization. Tableau it can convert the data into visualization, as well as Tableau it can convert the information into the visualization. So Tableau can understand both. So now, moving forward, let's talk about Tableau. What is Tableau? What is Tableau? I told Tableau is one data tool where we're going to use Tableau. Tableau is a BI platform. Tableau is a BI platform. What is BI? What is BI? BI stands for Business Intelligence. What exactly the BI means? What exactly the BI means? BI stands for Business Intelligence. What exactly the BI means? Let me explain with one real life example. The same example we discussed in the demo session. So let's assume that ICSI is operating in 3 countries, in India, in US, and in the UK. So in India, ICSI is having, let's say, some 1,000 branches. In US, they're having some 1,000 branches. Similarly, in UK also, they're having some 1,000 branches. Now, the goal of the ICICI Bank is, every day they want to compare one country's business with the remaining countries. Every day they want to compare one country's report with the remaining countries, and also they want to know in which country their business is doing well, in which country their business is not doing well. They want to understand everything. It is the goal of the ICICI Bank. So in India, let's assume that they have some customer base of 1 crore customers. They have 1 crore customers in India. Similarly, in US and UK also have 1 crore customers. It is their goal. So what they want to do? They want to compare one country with a report with the remaining countries, and also they want to know which country is doing well and which country is not doing well. On the high line, it is a requirement. So how the ICICI will accomplish their goal? What are the various possibilities here the ICICI is having? So the best way to accomplish that goal is incorporating the information technology in their business. incorporating the information technology in their business is the best approach. So here how IT plays a crucial role in the business of the ICS. So nowadays we got various platforms to perform both the transactions. You are not going to the bank to do any transactions. Simply what you are doing, simply with the help of internet and with the help of internet banking, from home only you are transferring the amount to the various account or you are getting amount from various persons, right? So it means how the customers are interacting. If you want to take some amount from your account means what are the various possibilities you are having, or if you want to deposit some amount means what are the various possibilities you are having. You are not going to your home branch, you are doing it from anywhere, right? So here, if any customer want to interact or if any customer want to perform any transaction means why do we need to raise or in the ATM? Therefore, what ATM? Let's assume that. So I'm having some 10,000 ATMs in India. ICICI is having some 10,000 ATMs in India. 10,000 in India, okay, 20,000 in US, and 30,000 in UK. They have like n number of ATMs, right? So how the system going to work? Every day, like how they're getting the information from this 10,000 ATMs or on total 60,000 ATMs. How they're knowing the bills at the end of the day? Okay, let's see the mechanism. So let's assume that I'm taking here one ATM from UK. The process is same for all the ATMs that are coming under the UK counterpart. Similarly, the process is same for all the ATMs coming under the US counterpart. Similarly, the process is same for all the ATMs coming under the Indian counterpart. Let's assume that there is a customer from UK. If he or she performs any transaction, those transaction details, it won't store in the ATM. ATM is just going to act as user interface. If you perform any transaction in any ATM, let's assume that you are doing some transaction in Hyderabad. Okay, that transaction detail it won't store in an ATM. That transaction details will get stored into some remote database known as OLTP. OLTP stands for Online Transactional Processing System. Okay, all the transaction details from the UK counterpart will get stored into the UK OLTPs. So if any customer doing any transaction at the ATM level means what the user could enter? Data or information. If you are doing any transaction in any ATM means what you are going to enter? Data or information. Okay, so if you are doing any transaction in ATM means they are going to enter two things: PIN number and the amount. So giving what? Just data, not information. What is information? Information, it contains what? Metadata plus data. So if you're doing any transaction, just you are entering what? Just the data. You are not entering information because of giving input to a system. ATM is a system. What system can understand? Data? Anything understandable by the system is known as the data. Okay, system with its artificial intelligence or predefined intelligence, it can understand the data. So if any customer gives any data as an input, that data it won't get stored in the ATM. That data it gets stored into some remote system known as what? OLTP. Similarly, if any customer is doing any transaction from the UK counterpart, all the UK counterpart transactions will get stored into the UK OLTPs. It will be one or many OLTPs. Similarly, if any customer performs any transaction in the US, again all the transactions from US will get stored into the OLTPs in the US counterpart. Similarly, all transactions from India they will get stored into the Indian OLTP. Here I'm stressing one word called as transaction. What is transaction? If any customer performs any transaction, then those transaction details are stored in the OLTP. Here, what is the meaning of transaction? Every day, knowingly or unknowingly, you are going to do a lot of transactions. You go to a shop, they are doing some transaction. The right for traveling, they are doing some transaction. What is transaction? Sharing information to one person, other person, yes, not accurate. So let me explain. So we could explain the transaction in two perspectives, in the technical perspective as well as in the functional perspective. In the functional perspective, changing the state of data is known as transaction. In the functional perspective, changing the state of data is known as what? Transaction. Let's assume that here I am the customer. Here I am the customer. So here today morning I went to the SR Nagar ATM and I did a transaction. Yesterday in my account I had, let's say, 20,000. 20,000. Today morning I went to the ATM and I did have withdrawn 5,000. What is my current balance? After performing the transaction, my balance will change to how much? 15,000. Tomorrow, if I deposit, let's say the 10k, then my balance sheet would change to. So here, every time when I do the transaction, the data state is changing or not? Changing the state of data. Changing the state of data is known as what? Okay, transaction. Yesterday it was at 20k. After doing transaction, it has changed to 15k. And tomorrow, if I do the transaction, it will change to what? 25. It will continuously change in the functional perspective. What about the technical perspective? In the technical perspective, doing inserts, updates, and deletes. Doing inserts, updates, and the deletes is known as a transaction. So if I withdraw 5,000 from my account means, then bank will trigger a program. That program will automatically deletes. 5,000 from my account. After deleting 5,000, it is going to update my account with 15,000. And tomorrow if I deposit the 10k, again it is going to insert. Again the bank will trigger a program. That program will automatically insert 10k into my account, and again it is going to update my account with 25. So doing inserts, updates, and deletes is known as a transaction, or changing state of data is known as what? Transaction. So here what these three OLTPs are storing? These three OLTPs are storing the complete transaction details of these three OLTPs. They are storing the complete transaction details of the ICICI across the three different countries. Okay, across the three different countries. Now, what is OLTP storing? Transactional data. What these three OLTPs are storing? Transaction data. What is the end goal here? What is the end goal here? They want to compare what? One country information with what? Or one country business with what? Other countries. So here, who want to compare? Management of the ICICI Bank. The management means some human want to compare. What humans can understand? Data or information? Humans can understand what? Information. So, but at this level, you have what the data or not? So here, as humans can understand only information now, we need to transform the data into information. So how to transform the data into information? Using one mechanism known as ETL. We are able to transform the data into information. So if any customer, and one more important thing is, if any customer performs any transaction in UK means, in which currency indicator the transaction is stored? In the form of pounds, in the form of GBP. And if any customer performs any transaction in US means, in the form of USD dollars. If any customer performs any transaction in India means, in the form of INR, in the form of rupees. In the form of what? Rupees. Here, again the data is there in multiple formats. If you want to perform any comparison means, then the data should be available in a single format. If you are comparing anything in a real world means, always the data must be available in only one format, okay, not different formats. So then how to convert the data from different formats into single format, as well as how to convert the data into information using one mechanism known as what? ETL. Here you are able to transform. In ETL, E stands for extraction, T stands for transformation, and L stands for loading. So what ETL mechanism will do is, it is going to extract the data from the different places. So extraction means what? Taking the required data. After extracting the data, where it is going to place the data means, It is going to place the data into some temporary place or temporary region known as staging area. It is going to place the data into some temporary location known as what? Staging area. Now the staging area contains data from UK, data from US, and data from India in the different formats. At the end of the day, ICICI want to compare everything in the form of rupees. At the end of the day, ICICI they want to compare everything in the form of what? Rupees. So here we need to convert dollars to rupees as well as pounds to rupees. Okay, here we need to convert the dollars to rupees as well as mortgage pounds to rupees. Where we are going to do all the conversions. Where we are going to do all the conversions means in the staging area. Here we need to transform the data into information as well as here we are going to convert dollars and pounds into INR. Dollars and pounds into INR. After doing all the required transformations, the staging area it cannot save this transformed information permanently. Staging area is a temporary area. It can't hold the transformed information. Now where we are going to save that? We're going to save that into some permanent location known as data warehouse. We are going to save that into some permanent location known as what? Data warehouse. We are going to dump that complete information into data warehouse. Now, data warehouse is the permanent location. Data warehouse is the permanent location for the information. So now the data warehouse contains information from US, UK, and India in which format? In the format of what? In the format of INR. Now here we have got information and here we have got in a single format. Now the ICICI they could able to compare. Now here the ICICI here they could able to compare. So can they compare the information directly? As humans can able to understand information, here we got the complete information of what the ICICI or the complete information the ICICI has stored into the data warehouse. Right? Now here the management of the ICICI they could connect to the warehouse or they could connect to the permanent location and they could able to see and here they could able to see in which location they got more business, they got more revenue, and in which location they got least revenue. They want to compare with, or in which location they want more, in which location they got more current accounts, or in which location they got more fixed deposits. Okay, in which location they got more shares. They want to compare like that, right? Here, can they do that here directly? They can't do here. Why? Why they can't do here directly? So let's assume that. So they have 1 crore customers in India. On an average, one customer is doing 2 transactions per day. It's bare minimum. One customer is doing 2 transactions per day. What about 1 crore customers? What about 1 crore customers? 1 crore customers will do 2 crore transactions per day. Okay, 2 crore transactions per day. Right? And what about per month? On average, month contains 30 days, so 30 to 60 crore transactions per month. So can they compare all the 60 crore transactions per month manually? From India, they have about like 60 crore transactions. And from US also like they have about 60 crore transactions. From UK also like they have about 60 crore transactions. Can they compare all the 180 crore transactions in manually use? It's impossible, right? Then how they're going to compare? Directly they can't compare. Here where they're going to make use of one more mechanism known as BI. Here where they're going to make use of one more mechanism known as what? Okay, BI. So here where the Tableau will come into picture. Here the Tableau will come into picture. So mostly what Tableau going to access? Mostly Tableau going to access the information. Information from the warehouse. Or sometimes Tableau can connect data also. Sometimes Tableau can connect to what? Okay, data also. In 98% cases, Tableau can connect to most of the information. Sometimes we don't have the ETL tools. Then in those cases, in 2% cases, even Tableau can understand the data also. So then what Tableau will do? Tableau or in generic BI, they will going to require data warehouse or required information. After that is required information here, they're going to perform two operations. The two operations are number one, reporting, and number two, analysis. So Tableau or any BI tool, they're going to perform two operations: reporting number one and number two, analysis. What is the meaning of reporting? What is the meaning of reporting? So what is the meaning of reporting is extracting the required information from one location. Extracting the required information from one business location is known as reporting. Extracting the required information from one business location is known as what? Reporting. So on the 60 crore transactions in India, they want to see, so the total, okay, they want to see how many transactions are above 1 million. Out of 60 crore transactions, each and every transaction contains a face value or no? So $1 or $10 or $1,000 like that. They want to see how many transactions are above 1 million in India. Similarly, in 60 crore transactions from UK, they want to see how many transactions are above 1 million. Let's say in India, they have got like some 10,000 transactions are above 1 million out of 60 crore. In US, they have got like 1 lakh transactions are above 1 million. And in UK, again they have got like some 20,000 transactions are above 1 million. Okay, some 20,000 transactions are above 1 million, right? So please move this forward. Right here. So here in India, like they have got some 10 crore transactions above like 1 million. In US they got like 1 lakh transactions, and in UK they got like 20,000 transactions. So it's 10k or 1 lakh or 20k. All these belongs to what? Only one location. All this belongs to what is only one location. Extracting the required information from one location. Extracting the required information from one location is known as what? Reporting. What about analysis? Comparing the business across multiple locations. Comparing the business across multiple locations is known as analysis. So comparing the business across multiple locations means what? So in India, as we have got like 10 crore transactions, so what is the percentage of 10,000 versus 60 crore? How much percentage are there in India? So the total 60 crore, okay, and in that we have got like only 10k above 1 million. What's the percentage? What's the percentage of 10k when compared to 60 crore? What is the percentage of the 10,000 on the 60 crore? Okay, the 10k by 60 crore. 10k by, okay, so in 60 crore, it's going to give close to some 0.034%. It means here only 0.034% transactions are above 1 million in India. And what about here? What about in UK? 20k means 0.068. And what about here? 1 lakh means 1 lakh means here 0.34 in US. In US, okay, out of 60 crore transactions, only 0.34% of the transactions are above 1 million. In India, it's only like 0.34. In UK, it is 0.068. So we are comparing the business like this. It is called as what? It is called as the analysis, right? So here where the Tableau will come into. So Tableau is a BI tool. It performs reporting as well as the analysis. The reason this data warehouse is also known as OLAP. This data warehouse is also known as what? OLAP. What is OLAP? OLAP stands for Online Analytical Processing System. OLAP stands for Online Analytical Processing System. What OLAP will do? So here why it is called as OLAP? Why it is called as the OLAP means here data warehouse is only providing the required information to perform reporting or not? Why the data warehouse is called as the OLAP means, so BI tools are doing what? Reporting as well as what? Analysis. How they are doing the reporting and analysis? So they're taking the input from the data warehouse or not? They're taking the required information from the data warehouse. Based on that information only, they're doing it what? Reporting as well as what? Analysis. So here, which is giving the required input to perform reporting and analysis. Data warehouse is providing the required input to perform what? Data warehouse is providing the required input to perform reporting as well as what is analysis. So the reason data warehouse is also known as what? OLAP. OLAP stands for online analytical processing system. So now after getting the required reporting and analysis, who is going to act the report or analysis? Who is going to act the report? Or who is going to do the analysis? After performing the required reporting and analysis, who is going to act the report or who is going to see the analysis? The management of the ICICI Bank. Okay, management means what? Some top management people. Right? They're going to see what? They're going to see the reporting and they're going to see what? Analysis. Now, what is reporting and analysis contains? Data or information? This reporting and analysis contains what is? Information. So, what humans can understand? Information. You see the whole process here. At one end, one human is giving some input. At the other end, some other human is doing what? The analysis. Right? In both ends. Okay, here the input is given by one human. Here the human context is customer. On the other end, the same data in terms of information is compared with other human. Here this human context is what? Here this human context is some employer or some organization. At both ends, just two humans are compared. But in between, some mechanisms are going on. In between, the technology are helping the persons. Okay, some person to understand the data better, and for some persons to complete their operation faster. Here, the technology is helping this person to complete this transaction faster. And here, at the other end, the technology is helping the management to improve their business. Right? So at both the ends here, what technology is doing? Both ends technology supporting business. This complete end-to-end mechanism is known as data warehousing architecture. This complete end-to-end mechanism is known as what is? Complete end-to-end mechanism is known as the data warehousing architecture. Data warehousing architecture. In real time, from here to here, from here to here, the work will be done by. In real time, from here to here, the work will be done by the ETL teams, or the latest buzz is ELT teams. The different ETL or ELT tools are Marketer, ODI, Informatica, Talent, etc. The different ETL tools. And from here to here, in real time, the work will be done by BI teams. The different BI tools are on Marketer, Tableau, ClickView, etc. There are so many tools available. We'll discuss it later. So the bottom line is data warehouse is a combination of ETL plus BI. Data warehouse is a combination of what? ETL plus. So where Tableau is falling means Tableau is falling in the BI. So Tableau is one data warehousing. So if you go to any job sites, Naukri or Monster, you're going to find some job openings like data warehousing consultant. Data warehousing consultant means your role is to work on both the ETL as well as the BI. When you are going to get the role as the data warehousing consultant, we need more than 5 years of experience, minimum of 5 years or 5.5, then you are going to get the role as the data warehousing consultant. So why you need 5.5 experience? To get the role as the data warehousing consultant, at least you need to work for 3 end-to-end implementations. At least you need to work for 3 end-to-end implementations, either in the ETL or in the BI. To complete one end-to-end implementation real time, to complete one end-to-end implementation real time, the minimum time frame is 18 months, 18 to 24 months. The minimum time frame to complete one end-to-end implementation 18 to 24 months. So 3 projects means 3 into 18, 54 months, right? So you need at least like 5 years. Okay, you need at least 5 years to get the role as the data warehousing consultant. So what about ETL consultant means? Sometimes you're going to say ETL consultant. ETL consultant means just your role is to extract, transform, and loading into the data warehouse. ETL consultant, they don't require BI. ETL consultant, like they don't do any BI work. And what about the BA consultants? What the BI consultant will do is they're going to perform required reporting and analysis by taking the information from the data warehouse. So BI developers, they don't do the ETL work. So it means that what I want to make sure is that being the Tableau developer, you don't involve in the ETL work. Because ETL developers, they don't involve in what? BA work. But you need some knowledge. You need some knowledge. Okay, how the mechanism will work. It is the mechanism. It is the mechanism. Okay, so being the BA developer, you don't involve in the ETL. And ETLs, they don't involve in what? BI. The resource allocation for any project is if 4 ETL developers are working in one project, the same project contains 10 BA developers. If 4 ETL developers are working in some project, the same project contains what 10 BI developers. In ETL, when the project is some level, okay, the work can be automated using some mechanisms, using some stat mechanism. Work it won't change in the ETL. When it comes to the BI, every day the reporting needs will change. Every day the analysis pattern will change. Okay, BI is dynamic. You don't know what the end user will ask. You might ask in a report, right? So it's reason BI it need more developers, right? This is the basic you people should know before learning any data. So here where Tableau is falling under the BI. Here one very important question is what are the components of the data warehouse? What are the components of the data warehouse or what data warehouse contains? Data warehouse typically contains 5 components. Data warehouse typically contains 5 components. Now you have seen that. The 5 components are number 1 OLTP, number 2 ETL, number 3 staging area, number 4 BI, number 4 data warehouse or OLAP, number 5 BI. I'm not giving all this all this points because everything is there in the notes. You're going to get like 4 hard copy notes like this. Okay, in level 1 notes, complete information is there. Reason I'm not giving any notes. Okay, this complete information is about in the level 1 notes. Right, refer to the notes to be able to understand it. Right, so the data warehouse it typically contains how many components? Data warehouse it typically contains 5 components. What are they? OLTP. What OLTP is doing here? What OLTP is doing? OLTP is storing what? Complete transaction data or not? And second component is what? The first component. Second component is what? ETL. What ETL is doing? ETL is taking the data, it is transforming into information, it's loading it into the permanent saving place called as the data warehouse. And the third component is called as what? Staging area. ETL needs to do some transformations or not, where it is going to perform all the transformations means in some temporary location. That temporary location is known as the staging area. Okay, that temporary location is known as the staging area, right? And next number 4, OLAP. OLAP is also known as what? Data warehouse. So after doing all the required transformations, where we are going to dump that information needs into some permanent location known as the data warehouse. So what data warehouse contains means data warehouse contains subject-oriented information. The best definition of the data warehouse is the data warehouse it contains subject-oriented information, right? And next, the 5th component is BI. So what BI is doing? BI it is contains required information in the data warehouse and it is performing both the required reporting and analysis. Why it is called as the business intelligence tool means here BI tools, they're going to take the input as information of some business. They're going to take input as what? Information of some business. After taking the information of some business, on that information, it is performing reporting as well as what? Analysis. So who is acting the report or who is acting the analysis? Okay, some management. So after seeing the report and after seeing the analysis only, they're going to take the next level decisions to improve the business. After seeing the report and after seeing the analysis only, they're going to take the next level decisions to improve what? To improve the business. So for example, in India, they've got like only 0.03% of transactions. About 1 million. Now what they will do is they will hike their interest rates. If the interest rate is more, means the customer will go for what? More deposits, right? They will take the decision like that. So when they take the decision only after seeing what? Reporting and only after seeing what? Analysis. So it is going to add some intelligence. It is going to add some intelligence to the business, okay, by taking the next level decisions. So the reason it is called as what? Business intelligence. So then what is the perfect definition of data warehouse? Then what is the perfect definition of data warehouse? If you go to any interview, they'll ask this. What is the perfect definition of the data warehouse? Okay, the perfect definition is data warehouse is the process of converting data into information. Data warehouse is the process of converting data into information using ETL and thereby performing the required reporting and analysis using BI. On the top of the information, again performing the required reporting and analysis of what? Okay, BI. It is the exact definition of the data model. The first step is getting the information. The second step is what? Converting the information into some meaningful report or into some meaningful analysis. With the help of the BI. Here, one more important interview question is what is the difference between OLTP and OLAP? It is also one of the frequently asked questions. Difference between OLTP and OLAP. What is the last form of the day? So what is source of data for OLTP? Both storing something, right? Both storing something. What is the source of data for OLTP? And what is the source of data for OLAP? What is the source of data for OLTP? From where the data is coming into OLTP? From the ATM or not? Right? What is ATM? User interface. Okay, not only ATM, even you can take it with your mobile device also. In your mobile device, if you install the banking apps, you're able to watch some transaction or not. But the transaction data is not storing in your mobile. Okay, where the transaction data is storing in that banking transaction system. If you use any apps, if you use any online app like ATM, or if you use the Recharge, or if you use anything, and if you do any transaction, what are the transaction you are doing? That transaction details is not storing in a mobile. Where it is storing means it is storing in some backend system called as what? Transaction system, right? But there your mobile or your laptop or your desktop is acting as what? Just interface between you and your account, right? So what is source of data for OLTP? Any user interface is a source of data for what? Any user interface is a source of data for OLAP. What is the source of data for any user interface is a source of data for OLTP? What is the source of data for OLAP? From where the data is coming into the OLAP place? To the staging area. Okay, here where the data is coming into the OLAP, from the staging area the data is coming into OLAP. Again, from where the data is coming to staging area? From the different OLTPs. From the different OLTPs, the data is coming into where? Staging area. So what is the source of data for the OLAP needs? All OLTPs. All OLTPs. Next, number 2, purpose. What is the purpose of OLTP? What is the purpose of OLTP? Right, so not to store the transactions. Correct. Any other? To run the business. To run the business, you need to store some transactions or not? The main purpose of the OLTP is to run the business. What is the main purpose of OLAP? The main purpose of OLAP is to analyze the business. Analyze the business. Next, number 3, amount of data. Which contains more amount of data, OLTP or OLAP? Which contains more amount of data, OLTP or OLAP? Always the OLTP contains a less amount of data. OLTP contains what? Less amount of data. Okay, the purpose of OLTP is to run the business, right? But the purpose of OLAP is to analyze the business. While performing the analysis, we need any data from the current year or the data from the past 10 years also. The reason the data warehouse is called as EDH, enterprise data warehouse. Sometimes the other name for the data warehouse is what? EDWH, enterprise data warehouse. It contains the complete information of an enterprise since it's inaugurated, right? So the reason always it contains less amount of data. What about OLAP? It contains huge amounts of what? Information. Your terminology is very clear. It contains huge amounts of what? Information. Right? Processing speed, which is faster. OLTP is faster or OLAP is faster? If you're doing any transaction in any ATM, how soon is it? If you're doing any transaction in any ATM, how much time it is going to take? Just fraction of money, not 2 minutes. Whereas if you want your bank account for since 5 years, how much time it is going to take? You want to take your bank account since 5 years or since like 2 years. But if you're changing any job, sometimes come to the last 5 years statement or last 3 years statements. If you want your last 3 years statement, how much time it's going to take? Last 6 months, you can get from your online account directly. If you want last 1 year or last 5 years, or if you're doing any taxation, okay, you need to submit your all the statements. You go to the banks and they'll say, come tomorrow. Come tomorrow after 1 week. The data is not available in your branch. You need to contact the single branch. It means in one branch or in one ATM, the data will be available only for the temporary input. After that time, they're going to dump the data into the warehouse. So it means if you're doing anything at the OLTP level, it's very fast. If you're doing anything at the OLAP level, it takes some time. To get the complete information, that complete information they don't maintain in every OLTP. They're going to dump that in one permanent location. So to get that information in that location, it takes some time. So if you are doing any operation, OLTP is possible. Whereas OLAP is, it is considerably slower due to huge amounts of information. Next, operations. Which operation is going to perform at the OLTP level? Transactions. So what are your transactions? Insets, updates, deletes. And which operations are going to perform at the OLAP level? So what is happening at the OLAP level? All the PA tools, they are taking the required data or not? Okay, they're taking out the required data. The process of taking the required data is known as selecting the required data. Okay, the process of taking the required data is known as selection. So which operation is going to happen frequently at the OLAP level means data selection. While doing the reporting, let's take for example, they want to take the report only from India. So the database contains what information from US, UK, as well as what India. So while perform the reporting, will they take the complete information or only from India? Only from India, because they want to take report only from Indian counterparts. Similarly, if they want to take report from US cities, they'll perform the data selection only from what? US. So which operation is going to happen frequently at the OLAP level means data selection. Data selection. Right. Next. Data storage. In OLTP, are we storing data permanently? No. It is temporary storage. Max of 6 months. Max of last 6 months. What about OLAP? Permanent storage. Permanent storage. And the last point, in interviews, now we need to test your experience in the current project. What is your OLTP database size? What is the DB size of the OLTP? In your current project, what is the size of your OLTP? And what is the size of your warehouse? So what the database size in real time for OLTPs? up to 1 TB. Up to 1 TB. Okay, or max of 500 GB. As it will store only temporary data, will take up to 500 GB. It won't store the data permanently. It is going to store what? Data temporarily. So, in real time, in most of the cases, in any project, the DB size of any OLT is enormous. Only 500 GB. What about the OLAP? Or what about the data warehouse? It is storing data permanently, right? Then here what the answer? Up to petabytes. Okay, 1 petabyte equal to 1024 terabytes. So up to 10 PBs. Nowadays, due to the huge amount of data, we are creating the data warehouse of size 10 petabytes. 1 petabyte equal to 1024 terabytes. Okay, so 10 petabytes in one single machine? No, it's not possible. Currently, we don't have the devices like that. What we are going to do? We're going to take 0.5 petabyte in one server. Sometimes 0.5 petabyte. Let's take I'm having size of 2 petabytes. Okay. And we're going to take like 0.5 in other server. 0.5 PB. And again one more 0.5 PB. And you have one more 0.5 PB. Like now got like 4 servers. These 4 they will get joined using one concept called as cluster. Using one concept called as what is cluster. So here we are joined with 4 DB servers. This entire system is known as big data system. This entire system is known as what? Big data system is nothing but combination or collaboration of multiple data warehouses. Nowadays, with a huge amount of data generating from the various devices, we can't store the data in one single warehouse. We're going to combine multiple data warehouses together. That entire system is called as what? Okay, that entire system is called as the big data system, right? So if they ask you like what is the petabyte, what is the data warehouse size, or what is your OLAP size means, you have to answer depending on the project. So if we keep the healthcare client, we don't have this much amount of data. So we have to say like 5 TB or 10 TB. Whereas we keep the banking client every day they're going to get what huge amount of transactions. You can say like the 5 petabytes. Depending on your domain, you are going to answer this question. For every domain, we don't maintain a huge amount of the sizes. Okay, depending on the number of transactions in that business. So it's all about the difference between OLTP and OLAP. So what are the differences? What was the difference? Source of data. What is source of data for OLTP? Any user interface. For OLAP, all OLTP. What is the purpose? To run the business. What is the purpose of OLAP? Analyze business. What is the amount of data for OLTP? Less amount of data. For OLAP, huge amount. What is processing speed? OLTP is fast. What about OLAP? It is considerably slower with the help of because of huge amounts of information. What about operations? Inserts, update, delete. And on the OLAP, data selection. What about data storage? Temporary storage. Whereas on OLAP, it's a permanent storage. What about the DB size? Up to 500 GB. What about the OLAP? Okay, just 10 petabytes. Right? So these are the basics you people should know before learning anything. Right? So any questions on this? Any questions? Alright then. So from tomorrow onwards, we're going to start now. If possible, just collect our notes. If possible, the hard copy notes are in front of us. Okay, just collect our level 1 notes. Okay, submit tomorrow. Thank you. information, but you defined that the data. Yes, the thing is, while doing any transaction or while inserting the data, doing any data insertion means, we don't enter metadata data. Let's say you have some table. After creation of table, you want to insert some row or you want to update some row. So while insertion or updation, every time you import enter the column names. Directly what are entering data. Because what system is understanding data.
But before that, there is automatic code generated, right? Column to insert the data.
Some 20 columns. Okay. Every time you don't take all the 20 columns, right? You won't take column names, but you won't take the column values. Inside the table values will be and you are connected to the values. So you are entering what? The data. Why you are entering data? Already some instance is defined. Instance means what column is defined. As we have defined the column as directly, but that means that the data. If the system understands what data, humans we can't understand the data.